Okay, hi everybody. First of all, thanks for being a little bit flexible about me not being able to be here today. You guys are getting to watch this because I'm someplace else, or maybe I am here and I just decided to use it again for the next day. First thing about taking notes off these videos like this, don't just shuffle to the end of the end of the slide where you can just copy down what it says. Make sure you're listening a little bit, and also the rule with watching videos like this is to use a method called SPAR, which is to stop, pause, and rewind as needed for understanding. Okay, so first of all, the picture that's on the left-hand side of the screen is a picture of your spinal cord inside all the different levels of things that protect it. And obviously down toward the bottom, there are two vertebrae, which are separated by that grayish disc area. A little bit of understanding on this. Your spinal cord is obviously protected by vertebrae. Nerves that travel out of the spinal cord that can be seen as kind of those white little forks moving toward the right extend out into the body and help control other parts of the body. Now, some problems you can have with this, obviously, if something were to sever your spine, that would be a pretty severe injury and you'd be paralyzed from that point down. That's why if you've ever watched a football game or maybe a NASCAR race, when someone has a pretty severe head and neck injury, they generally tend to put a collar on them to make sure that none of those vertebrae cut any part of the actual gray matter or white matter of the spinal cord. Something else that can happen, the gray disc that's in between the vertebrae acts as a shock absorber or a cushion between those. If that disc slips out, you can actually get pinched nerves, or in some people, those discs actually deteriorate. I have a couple of degenerative discs in my low back, which can actually lead to me having some pinched nerves and some problems with my legs. Now, to get into the actual stuff, all right, first of all, I'll just give you the whole slide. You guys are going to jump ahead to the end anyway, and there you go. We're going to talk about the central nervous system in this presentation. I'm just going to give you guys a quick run through. I don't think I'm going through anything you probably don't know too much, but the central nervous system is made up of two things. The brain, which obviously we've kind of done some intro stuff to. You guys watch the video and things like that. The brain weighs about 3 pounds, and then the spinal cord. The central nervous system does not include any of the peripheral nerves. So none of the things moving out of your hands or your feet, nothing moving to your heart, anything like that. Basically, all impulses that go to and from the brain have to at some point travel on the spinal cord in order to get there. Even if I touch or you touch the top of your head, that message actually has to travel around your skull and get to the spinal cord and go up into the brain. So any message, step on a Lego, eat a Dorito, want to punch somebody, that has to travel on the spinal cord somehow. Most obviously of the things that we do are voluntary. We make the decision to have a drink of something. We make the decision to move our arms. However, sometimes the spinal cord has to act alone in emergency situations. We all know that that's called a reflex. You guys have all gone to the doctor. You've all had him use the reflex hammer, hit you below the kneecap, and you get that little kick action. You have reflexes all over your body. There's one behind your elbow in the not so funny bone. You have actually a reflexive movement on the bottom of your foot that proves that your Achilles tendon is attached. A reflex, by definition, is an automatic behavior of the body that's activated by the spinal cord, and then the higher brain is notified of what happened later. Again, with messages traveling in excess of 270 miles an hour through your body, the amount of time between a reflex and when the brain is notified is microscopic, but that reflex is used to keep you safe. For instance on this would be back when I was about 23 years old, lived in a one-bedroom apartment. I was making pizza for myself when my mom called. I had the old portable phone. I stuck it in between my ear and my shoulder, and I was talking to my mom, and I decided to check on the pizza. And when I opened up the oven door to look and see if the cheese was melted, the phone fell off my shoulder and into the oven. I hear my mom squawking like a chicken. What's going on? What's going on? I reached in and grabbed the phone out without burning myself. But then I kind of stopped thinking and I reached in and I just grabbed the pizza pan without a hot mitt on or any kind of oven mitt. And in a reflexive movement, I tried to pull my hand back away from the pizza pan, but my fingers had blistered and kind of stuck to it, which caused me to drop the phone in the oven again and pull my hand back. That's why I have a little bit of nerve damage in my right fingertips. But that would be an example of a reflex, that pulling back motion to protect yourself, or blinking when someone, moves a hand towards your eye. By the way, if you blink just now, too, for flinching, imaginary internet hitting you right now. Now, obviously at the top, you can see a picture of that knee-jerk reflex test. You can either dangle your leg over the other leg, or you can hang it over the end of the table. Obviously, in these situations, as an evolutionary and protectionary thing, people believe that the brain doesn't need to necessarily react instantly because the spinal cord can. It works this way because even though the nerves in the spinal cord are short, there are fewer synapses to cross because they're more direct, making that whole travel process much easier. Then a message gets sent to the brain about what just happened, and the brain can make a higher level decision about what to do next. Again, if you think about the video we watched the other day where you have the amygdala making those fear and anger-based decisions, and then the frontal lobe does your logic things, the brain is going to alert the amygdala first, and you're going to get those fear responses of pulling back, and then the higher brain is going to tell you what you need to do next. So some people, their takeaway from this is that the spinal cord could probably operate by itself if need be. We've probably all seen videos of a chicken getting its head cut off on a barnyard and then running around for hours. There's actually even a story, I don't know if this is true or not, you might be able to look it up, about a farmer in England who beheaded a chicken and then was able to keep it alive for months by feeding it with an eyedropper down through its esophagus. Theoretically, that is possible because the parts of a chicken that actually control its heartbeat and breathing are lower down in the spinal cord. In the case of a human being, if we were to decapitate you, you might have some extra moving around because of spinal cord electricity and things, but you're not going to get up and walk around. We can't feed you with an eyedropper because your medulla oblongata is higher up in your brain, and so your body will not keep going. Again, this one was short, just on the central nervous system, just a few minutes. Hopefully you got these things down. If you have questions, obviously I'm available in different ways that you can ask. There is going to be a second video on the peripheral nervous system, which will be a little bit longer and a little bit more detailed. Again, central nervous system, brain, spinal cord, the idea of a reflex. If you've gotten those things out of it, you've done what you need to do. And if you understand the concept of like a disc in the back, you've kind of gotten that next level stuff that might help you further down the line when you're my age and you get a little old and creaky. All right. Now, you're probably going to want to move on to video 2.